Horizon Motors was buzzing with its usual morning chaos. Sales staff scurried about, updating inventory, greeting customers, and handling paperwork. But beneath the surface, a tense atmosphere loomed, one fueled by fear of the dealership's hot-tempered manager, Greg Hastings. Greg stood at the center of it all, barking orders like a drill sergeant. His sharp gaze darted across the showroom as he berated an employee for misplacing a brochure. "We're not here to babysit customers or each other. Keep moving, people. We're here to sell, not slack off," he snapped. Emma, a junior salesperson, leaned toward her coworker Jake and whispered, "One day, Greg's going to yell at the wrong person." Jake smirked. "When that happens, I'm grabbing popcorn." Their quiet exchange was cut short when Greg's booming voice demanded their attention. "What are you two gossiping about? Get back to work." They quickly scattered, rolling their eyes as they resumed their duties. Just then, the chime above the dealership door rang. An older man walked in, wearing a well-worn leather jacket, faded jeans, and a cowboy hat tilted low over his weathered face. His boots clicked softly against the tile as he moved through the showroom, pausing to examine the cars. Emma, always eager to greet customers, approached with a warm smile. "Good morning, sir. Welcome to Horizon Motors. Can I help you find something?" The man offered a faint smile. "Just browsing for now." Emma nodded. "Of course. Let me know if you have any questions." From his office, Greg watched the exchange with narrowed eyes. The man didn't look like a serious buyer, more like someone wasting time. A few minutes later, Greg stormed onto the showroom floor, striding straight toward the man. "Excuse me, sir," Greg said sharply. "Are you planning to buy a car today?" The man turned to face him, his calm blue eyes meeting Greg's fiery glare. "Not sure yet," he replied evenly. Greg crossed his arms. "Well, this isn't a place for window shopping. We're running a business here. If you're not serious about buying, I suggest you head elsewhere." Emma, overhearing, stepped forward hesitantly. "Greg, I think he's just taking his time." Greg silenced her with a dismissive wave. "I don't need your input, Emma. Go handle a paying customer." The older man raised an eyebrow, but didn't argue. Instead, he gave a slight tip of his hat and said, "All right, I'll leave." The room fell silent as he turned toward the door, but before he could step outside, a sleek black SUV pulled into the lot. The vehicle stopped abruptly, and out stepped Mr. Harrison, the regional director of Horizon Motors. Harrison adjusted his tie as he strode inside, scanning the room before his eyes landed on the older man. His face lit up. "Mr. Eastwood!" he exclaimed, hurrying forward with an outstretched hand. "It's an honor to meet you, sir. I didn't expect you this early." Greg froze. Wait, Eastwood? Like Clint Eastwood? The older man, now confirmed as Clint Eastwood, shook Harrison's hand with a faint smile. "Yes, Clint Eastwood." Harrison turned to the staff. "And not just any Clint Eastwood, the new owner of Horizon Motors. He purchased the entire chain last week." A collective gasp rippled through the room. Emma's jaw dropped. Jake let out a low whistle. Greg felt the blood drain from his face. I didn't realize," Greg stammered. Clint turned to him, his tone calm but sharp. "Didn't realize what, son? That respect is free? Or that judging people by their appearance isn't good business?" I'm sorry, Mr. Eastwood. I didn't mean any disrespect," Greg blurted. Clint raised a hand, silencing him. Actions speak louder than words. Harrison, now visibly irritated, clapped a hand on Greg's shoulder. "Greg, a word in my office. Now." As Greg shuffled away, Clint turned back to the staff. His voice was firm, carrying across the showroom. "I came here today to see how this dealership operates. What I've seen so far isn't just disappointing, it's unacceptable." The employees exchanged nervous glances, unsure of what was coming next. I believe in running a business where people are treated with respect, customers and employees alike," Clint continued. "From now on, this dealership will operate with integrity. If any of you aren't on board with that, you know where the door is." Emma hesitated for a moment before stepping forward. "Mr. Eastwood, I just want to say, not all of us agree with how Greg handled things. Some of us are trying to make this a better place." Clint's expression softened. "I can see that, miss." "Emma," she said, blushing slightly. "Well, Emma, keep up the good work. People like you are the future of this business." Meanwhile, in Harrison's office, Greg sat with his head in his hands as his superior delivered a scathing review of his behavior. By the end of the meeting, Greg was demoted to a struggling dealership on the outskirts of town, a harsh but well-earned consequence. As for Emma, Clint promoted her to assistant manager. Her kindness, work ethic, and courage made her an ideal leader. Over the next few months, Horizon Motors underwent a complete transformation. Clint made regular visits, working alongside the team to build a culture of respect and teamwork. The toxic environment Greg had fostered was replaced by a workplace where people felt valued. One afternoon, as Clint prepared to leave after another visit, Emma approached him. "Mr. Eastwood, I just wanted to thank you. This place feels like a completely different world now." Clint tipped his hat. "It's not about me, Emma. It's about people like you who care enough to make a difference. Keep up the good work." As he walked out to his car, the staff gathered by the showroom windows, watching him with newfound admiration. Months later, Horizon Motors was thriving under its new leadership. Emma had grown into her role, and the dealership had earned a reputation for excellent service. One day, Clint returned for a routine check-in. Emma greeted him with a bright smile. "Mr. Eastwood, you'll be happy to hear we just broke our all-time sales record this month." Clint grinned. That's what happens when people respect each other and work as a team. As he walked through the bustling showroom, he paused to take in the sight of his employees working together. Before leaving, he turned to the team and said, "Success isn't just about selling cars, it's about building trust. Keep doing what you're doing, and you'll go far." The staff erupted into cheers as Clint stepped outside, leaving behind a legacy of integrity and leadership that would inspire them for years to come.